Hoka, hey, Alita Army. Welcome to the Alita Livestream of August the 25th, 2023. What if the URM had won the Great War of the Fall? Where we discuss all things to do with the movie Alita Battle Angel, the source manga Gundam, and the greatly desired sequels. I am your host, the Muskogee Creek from Denver, Colorado. And with me from Fountain, Colorado is Lee. How's it going, Lee?
Hey, going pretty good.
Cool. And from the Shires in the UK, we actually have Vladi. How's it going, Vladi?
Evening, dudes. Not bad at all.
Cool. And just joining us from Arvada, Colorado, so we got 3 out of 4 of us here are Coloradans, is Do Not Stand By. Hello, Do Not Stand By.
Hey, Creek. Good to be here.
All right, cool.
Is Do Not Stand By going to the con tomorrow?
Yes, he is.
Hey.
Yeah,
we need to get Alita Raven here as well.
Yeah, well, Alita Rave, he usually travels like on Fridays, so he's pretty tough for him to get here on Fridays. But Do Not Stand By is going to drive down to my house, and then we're going to go down and meet awesome. Alita Rave, his friend, and Lee. We're going to meet at a little deli place there in Colorado Springs before the Comic-Con, and then we're going to put on our Alita Army shirts, and we are going to just make ourselves a nuisance when we go there.
You're going to roam around causing terror across the con.
That's right. Give us our sequel, or
there'll be a news article,
or else.
Alita Army terrorizes Comic-Con.
That's right. So there's going to be 5 of us there. So hopefully
that's quite a good showing.
Yes, hopefully that'll.
The whole gang's getting together. How sweet.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. Yeah. So anyway, how's it going, guys? How's it going down there in Fountain there, Lee?
Not too bad. It is a little cloudy, looks like rain, but warm.
Yep.
Pleasant.
Yep. How about Vladi? How about there in the UK? What's going on?
Yeah, quite similar. It's gotten cold again. We haven't had much of the summer. It's just been you go outside, you get your 10 seconds of sun, and then the cloud and the rain comes back. That's how it works.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, lovely. And Do Not Stand By is not that far from me. He's like 25 miles or so. So I assume Do Not Stand By, you're getting a little bit of cloudiness and rain as well, right?
Yeah, I'm hoping it clears up by the evening so I can play some basketball. I'm bummed that it's wet and dreary right now.
Well, you're big into that basketball, aren't you? Do Not Stand By.
Story of my summer.
Yeah, for sure. I've been trying to play every day. I've been inspired by the Denver Nuggets winning the championship. So.
Absolutely. Yeah, in case you didn't know, Vladi, the Denver Nuggets is a NBA team, and they are the NBA champions, or world champions, or whatever. Although I would say the NBA champions, whether they're world champions, I imagine the folks in the European League might have something to say about that.
Yeah, it's like the World Series in face of whatever.
Yeah,
not quite the world, is it? It's like one tiny bit of the world.
Yeah, that's right. Well, the NBA they do have some really talented players, that's for sure. I mean, they're players from all over the world too. I think our best player is from where is he from? Do Not Stand By. Is he from Serbia or is he,
that's right. Nikola Jokic. He's from Serbia.
Yeah.
And when in the off season, when he's not playing in the NBA, he does horse racing in his home country.
Jesus. Oh. So a multi-talented athlete, I guess. Okay, so enough for the pleasantries. And Lee, you see, I got the slide up there real quick this time. So
okay.
There we go. So anyway, here's our petition. We've got I think we added like a dozen people since last Friday, so it's still chugging along, or at least 10 to a dozen in the past week or two or whatever. Oh, guess who just showed up? Good day, mate.
Better late than never, as usual.
Yes.
Hey. He was probably dying and clawed his way to the computer.
Yeah, and everybody here knows that Angelus is from Brisbane in Queensland, Australia. How's it going down under, Angelus?
Bittersweet.
Cool.
I just found out that one of my GOAT bands of all time toured Australia, and I was blissfully unaware.
Oh, damn.
Hate when that happens.
Evanescence.
Oh, someone I know was going to see them. Who was that?
Me? No.
Or who wanted to see them anyway, right?
No, I just remember somebody mentioning it. I didn't know where they were in the world though. Guess they were in
Yeah.
Australia.
Yeah, they were going Brisbane, Sydney, then down to Melbourne, and I think across
Yeah.
to Perth
How
after
did you
that.
miss it? That's such an L.
I know that's a big L for me. Like they're as context, like Evanescence is the Alita of the music world for me. So
Yeah. It's annoying. Sometimes you just don't catch wind of it.
yeah, and same thing.
Not
Like
good enough promotion.
Well, did they not promote it very well, Angelus, or what?
I don't know. It's I mean, Twitter is still, well, X is still
Yeah.
one of the larger social media platforms, and I saw nothing on that.
Yeah.
Very little on Instagram, and I'm on that occasionally. But yeah,
Damn.
Freaky.
Yeah.
Are you still gonna push the petition once Disney have officially confirmed it? We can just scrap it after that, can't we?
Well, you know what? Maybe we ought to think about a Alita sequels. So maybe we ought to still keep pushing, you know. Of course, that means this petition would be, you know, OBE, as they would say, overtaken by events, if they green light the Alita sequel. But I am wondering if we ought to start another petition, you know.
For what?
why not just edit this
Alita
one?
Battle Angel Part 3.
We are
So-
Alita fans and we demand more.
That's right. Yes, we know what we want. So, but anyway, you see,
We're
we
not
got
sure what we want. Just sign the petition. We want more Alita forever and ever and ever.
That's right. Well, the Creek wants at least 6 movies, an anime series, a live action series, merch, games. I want the whole 9 yards. So there you have it.
99 yards.
99 yards. That's right. No, or 99 meters. Either one there, Angelus. You guys use meters, don't you, Angelus? You're in the metric system. Is that right?
We use the proper system, yes.
No, okay. Yeah, that's right. Hey, I guess you saw on my powerlifting thing that they rate that by, or they measure that by meters, or not meters, but metric, you know, 120 kilograms and so forth. Yeah, you know, so yeah, of course, Angelus could probably bench 120 kilograms with no trouble. So, is that right, Angelus?
I'll just go find a corner now.
Oh, well, no harm meant, as they would say. But anyway, anybody on this stream has probably signed a petition. But if you haven't, or you're some of those folks in the future that's watching this on the replay, if you have not signed the petition, please do so.
What are you even doing with your life?
That's right. That's exactly right. And just so I can make Lottie happy, we got a Hero Arm campaign going on, and we've kind of run into a little bit of a, how would you say, a plateau, you know, in terms of the amount of money and stuff like that. Now, we have more than this. The Alita Army has more money than this in the bank, you know, that's for sure. But you know, which would go toward the arm if we had to, you know. We have, by the way, here's something that's interesting that you guys would all be interested in. I did receive on Thursday, I received the Alita bust that we're going to give Rosa. So it's right now, okay. Yes, right now up in upstairs in my living area, and it's still in the box. Now, I've already told Tony that, you know, before if it's me or whoever it is going to present this to Rosa, we're going to need to open that box to make sure that you know, that bust is not, there's not something wrong with it, you know, just to be safe, you know. But I haven't opened it yet, you know, because you know, we want to keep
Tony
it
thinks we shouldn't open it because they will probably want it to be like left untampered.
Well, the only problem with that, if there is something wrong with it, and we try to present that to Rosa, that's going to make us look bad. So, you know, but anyway, I'm not just going to arbitrarily on my own open it. You know, we'll have a meeting on that and discuss it, you know, and come to a consensus. Okay. So, you know, that's the best way to do it, I think, you know, because the Creek doesn't run the Alita Army. That's for damn sure. Nor does the Creek want to run the Alita Army. The Alita Army is how would you say, an organic organization or a cybernetic organization, whichever one you want to call it. So anyway, it is what it is. But anyway, the links for both the petition and the Hero Arm campaign are both in the description below the screen here. And just click on that and do what you got to do. With the Hero Arm campaign, no amount is too small. And if you cannot donate, it's understandable. You know, I'm starting to retweet this every day, or what do they call it? Posts now on X. I put it on a post, and I'm going to start putting this on Instagram and on Reddit. And you know, if you can't, just repost that thing, you know, just so other people know, and make sure the hashtag Alita Army's on there and good stuff like that. So, any questions?
No, just keep pushing it, I guess.
Yeah, that's all we can do.
Nothing else we can do.
Yep. I don't want
I'm
to
not
push
sure how
it.
we can get a big boost. We need some kind of big boost. We need like official support.
Yeah, because I don't want this to drag
page
out.
James Cameron.
Well, I don't want this to drag out for a year and a half, because Tilly, you know, wants, you know, we want to make sure Tilly's happy too, and she's on board with this. So, you know, we want to make sure it goes, you know. So
I wouldn't worry about that. She's probably forgot about it already.
oh, hopefully not. So anyway,
She's so busy now. She's starting her own band. She was looking for bandmates.
oh,
Really?
really?
Yeah,
cool.
she's starting her own bionic band. Wonder what they should be called.
Is her boyfriend going to be in the band too, or what?
Her boyfriend? Are you sure you're up to date with the latest on Tilly?
No, I'm not, I guess.
I don't think she's with the boyfriend you think she's with.
Oh, so it's not with that guy that she made those videos with? Maybe.
No.
Oh, okay.
Sadly not. But everything seemed amicable anyway. She was just casually, someone asked if they were together, and she was like, no, but don't do anything bad.
Well, far be it from the creek to, you know, get on to somebody about not being with their significant other for very long. That's for sure.
How many wives have you had? 99.
Just two.
Oh.
Yeah, Lee and I was talking about that before the stream. You know, I've lived with 5 different women. You know, so it's you know, I guess it is what it is. Anyway, let's move away from that and go right into the topic now. And we got a couple of slides coming up on this, but I think what I wanted to show is just from the movie, and of course we can discuss, you know, what's in the manga on this, but we all know that there was in the manga, I guess it's called the Terraforming Wars, and in the movie, the Great War, the Fall, and of course there's that video, I guess, called the Great War, the Fall, and I think that link is also in the description below the screen here. But basically, this is where Earth and Mars are at war with each other, and Earth, you know, it has a significant military for sure. And Mars is a bunch of separate, they call them republics, but they're more like tribes, I think, but they call them the United Republics of Mars, you know, and they all band together to go to war with Earth. And I think, if I remember, Angelus, you can help me, or anybody that's read this in the manga and remember it. I think it was a battle over resources, wasn't it? Or at least to try to get, you know, Earth between and betwixt Jupiter and Venus, I think, if I'm not incorrect about that. But do you kind of remember something about that, Angelus, or anybody for that matter that's read the manga?
Can't help you there. Sorry, mate.
Angelus,
Yeah,
I think you're. Oh, go ahead, Lee.
I was just, yeah, it's been too long for me. I don't remember the whole thing with the what the political situation the manga was like, really.
Yeah, do not stand by, or Angelus, do you remember anything? Because I think what I said was right, but I could be off.
I'm getting the feeling or gut sort of reaction is that Earth is like the child in a messy divorce sort of thing.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to try to use it or exploit it.
Yeah. Well, Mars is not as I guess they're not as been in the community of the solar system, I guess, certainly as long as Earth, because Earth is where everything originated, you know. But I think the real powerhouses were Venus and Jupiter. Am I not right about that? In terms
Sounds
of
about
the,
right.
yeah. Anyway, the Earth and Mars had this battle. And I'm just going to play a video clip here of, what we've seen in the movie, that Alita's involvement, in the URM military.
You'll never give up. Know what is hidden. Always ask, what is it that you are not seeing?
Nova?
He is the dragon that must be slain. Objective.
99! On your left! Defense ring!
Finish the mission. Destroy Zalem.
So there you have it. That's Alita's involvement in what we know about from the movie. Now, I think in the manga, they don't go into too much in the movie about the results of the war or anything like that. But I know in the manga, from what I remember reading, the war was basically a draw. In other words, neither side beat the other side because, I think the Earth had launched this, I guess, like a nanobot bomb type weapon that spread a plague, kind of like a biological weapon, except it was for nanites. And that kind of destroyed, took out all the cyborgs on Mars. And Mars unleashed a biological plague on Earth, which killed probably 90% of all the humans on Earth,
This is quite a lot of genocide for Disney.
Yes, but or even Fox for that matter. But you see, neither side really won from what I could tell. Now both sides, we do know the Earth survived because we saw it in the movie, and we saw, well, I think even Mars survived because we saw that in the Mars Chronicles and the original manga. That Alita in volume 7, she was on Mars, and that was after Last Order. So it kind of flips back and forth. And of course, we know Earth survived because we saw the movie, and there's more of that in the original manga. So the idea here is that both sides, it kind of fought to a stalemate. And of course, Alita, was when you saw that last scene there, them going up the supply tube, and Gelda kind of helps her up. They don't go any further than that, but in the movie, but Alita and Gelda actually go up, to Zalem, and they're captured. And of course, Alita is tortured and don't know what happened to Gelda. I don't remember remember anything about that, but Alita was captured. And if you remember that one panel, they had both her arms cut off, both her legs cut off. They had like a big screw going through her head, or holding her head, and had that thing around her mouth so she couldn't talk, and she pretty much was, she was pretty much subdued, and then they, of course, threw her off the side, as they thought they were going to, I forget what they called that, obliteration or something like this. But anyway, she ends up in the scrapyard, and they think she's dead. They think they've killed her, but they didn't, and as we all know from the movie, and even the manga, we know that she survived and was in the scrapyard for 300 years before Ito finds her. And then, re-embodies her into a a cyborg body.
The movie
And,
doesn't. The movie doesn't say that's how she got there.
Yeah.
It might be different
Yeah,
in the
that's
movie
right.
universe.
Well, yeah, the movie doesn't say how she got there. Now, there is that video that's in the description below here that
Mhm.
kind of talks about that. Now
Was
it's
that the special features one?
yeah, part of the special
I
features.
didn't really like them.
Well, it's a little different from the manga too. I think in the manga she's thrown off Jeru, but I can't remember. But anyway, in both cases she ends up in the scrapyard from them. Now in the movie we don't know how she got there. We're just making an assumption just based on what we know in the manga. But
Mhm.
she is there in the scrapyard and she has survived, and now she's been reanimated and and kind of embedded or embodied into this new cyborg body, the doll body. And then of course eventually she gets the berserker body in the movie, and of course the rest of the story goes on. So anyway, to make a to make a long story painfully longer, she actually becomes Alita, and Ito is her adopted father, and Gerhard's her adopted mother. And of course in the manga, I guess it's what Gerhard wasn't in the manga, but that other character, what was his name? I can't remember now. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But anyway, she kind of, we know the story. Now, what we want to talk about here though is, what if the URM had actually won that war? And now there's kind of 4 important events here that maybe drives this whole process. Okay, and what we have to do is change 3 of them. So, and here are the first 4, what they are. And if you remember that the attack on Mars by Earth was successful, and that's what that lower right hand looking graphic down there shows. And we're going to show you a little video on that too, of how that could change. But I guess in the backstory, if you want to call it, that attack is successful. Also in that second bullet there, and that one does not change, the biological attack on Earth by the URM is also successful. This is why it's a draw, because neither one had the resources after that, after they had both wiped out 90% of their populations on their respective planets. They could not sustain an additional fight with the other one. Now the battle,
So they both did an Oppenheimer.
yeah, well, basically they did. Now they don't really go into what was the delivery system, I guess, for the biological attack. But in that video, there is like a missile, an interplanetary missile that hits Mars. And we're gonna see how that could change. Now the battle on the moon is important. It doesn't change anything, but the reason why it's important is that the URM actually won that battle, so they could set up a staging area on the moon that'll help them more easily attack Earth. And as we know, Mars doesn't really have any moons of any appreciable size. I mean, they got Phobos and Deimos, which are 2 small. They're more like asteroids than they are moons, but they're in orbit around Mars. But it would be pretty difficult, even 200 years in the future, to establish a base on one of those 2 little rocks, basically.
Actually, if I might,
Yeah.
one possibility could be also because of the small size, they were more easily defended by the Martian forces.
Oh, you mean the 2 Martian moons?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Luna being as big as it is, there's a lot more surface to try and fend off an attack from.
Yes. So anyway, that's kind of how that played out. And that battle on the moon, that pretty much stays the same, because that was essential for them to win that battle, for them to actually get the upper hand on Earth. If they had lost that battle, they probably wouldn't have been able to beat Earth, And then we saw from going up that supply tube, you get the Alita and Gelda and the rest of the squad. You get the feeling that probably Zalem won that battle, because certainly all of those all but 2 of those berserkers were killed, except for Gelda and Alita. And we do know that Alita ended up in the scrapyard, and we don't know what happened to Zelda, and Zalem is still up there. So you kind of, I think we can assume that Zalem actually won that battle. Now,
That
the
does
Earth
seem like a good conclusion, yeah.
Yeah, well, the Earth Defense Forces had probably been beaten, because you remember there were like 12 floating cities, as Hugo put it, but only one of them remained after that last night of fighting, and that was Zalem. So we just get the feeling that Zalem actually won that battle, Now, what we want to look at here is that we want to see, or we want to change 2 things. We want to change the attack on Mars by Earth is unsuccessful. In other words, they did not successfully deliver that nanobot plague weapon that they fired at Mars that wiped out just about all the cyborgs, that it was not successful. Also, another thing that's got to change is that the URM has to win the Battle of Zalem. Now, we're not going to go into how they did that, because really what we want to do is we want to look at the results of what would happen, particularly how this affects Alita, how this really kind of governs, her path after the war is over. So in other words, with these 4 events, the way they are right here, what would that do, and how would Alita change from that? And so I got some slides coming up on there, but anybody got any questions about any of these assumptions and how I might be off base, or maybe there's another assumption that we need to make or something like that?
Well, I have a question about, are we assuming that Zelda and Alita are still defeated on the way up the tube, or and maybe another contingent came out and defeated Zalem, or are we going to assume that Alita and Zelda are actually successful in their mission and defeat?
Sorry, am I having a
Nova?
brain aneurysm? Everyone keeps calling Gelda Zelda.
No, it's Gelda.
Yeah, I swear, Creek, you just called her Zelda as well.
Oh, did I?
Am I going senile? Sorry to interrupt. Carry on.
No,
I wasn't.
no,
I wasn't going to say anything, so I want to see how long it went on.
Yeah, first Creek did it, and then
Thanks, Lee.
first Creek did it, and I was like, "What is happening? Are my ears going wrong? Are they actually saying Gelda?" But
you know what it might have been? I might have been looking at the word Zalem there, and then I thought Gelda.
Yeah. No, I think that was it. Yeah. It was just funny the way it carried on to the next person. You infected him.
And also, Zelda is a game.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I was suddenly thinking, they've taken Zelda up. That's cool. I love Zelda.
The Legend of Zelda or something like that. I can't remember. Anyway,
yeah.
Vladi is absolutely right. It is Gelda.
Yeah. Sorry,
Zelda.
it was a pointless point to make, and you were making a really good point. So carry on.
Yeah. No, it's okay. It's okay. I don't mind it. I don't mind interruptions.
It's just funny the way it carried on.
When I teach a class, I always tell students, I don't care if you interrupt me in mid-sentence. If we need to discuss something, interrupt me. Don't worry about it. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah. So I guess my point is the Zelda mistake notwithstanding, is there anything else that would need to be added to that list of the first 4 bullets there that you think would have to be important for the URM to win the Great War?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. Well, to Vladi's point on that 4th bullet too, is that, we are going to assume the URM wins the Battle of Zalem, that yes, Gelda almost did it again. Gelda and Alita's squad actually is successful. They actually, and it would maybe not just them. We don't need to go into the tactical maneuvering that the military.
Yeah, they wouldn't necessarily have been the only team on those
that's
tubes
right.
heading up there.
There could have been 3 or 4 of these teams going up all the tubes,
It could also be that they, and maybe possibly another team, managed to get to the city itself.
Yeah.
And in some way either weaken or disable the city's defenses, allowing troops to be dropped in through drop ships.
Yeah, that's right. So there's a lot of ways, and we don't need to get into that. But the only thing that we do need to know, that we do need to assume, is that the URM wins the battle, not Zalem. Okay, Zalem does not win the battle. So
Well,
yes,
considering it was like the last battle of the war, it would mean that they won the war.
yeah, that's
in that
right.
Case.
Yes. Okay. Any questions about that, guys?
One other question, and that's: are we assuming that Nova is defeated, or does he
Oh,
somehow escape?
we're getting there. We're going to get there. Yes, we are definitely getting there. Do not stand by. So, okay. So I guess we could move right on here.
Yeah, I would imagine if Zalem falls and Nova
No.
is probably by default either destroyed or captured.
Yeah. Welcome, Chaos Nova from Mentor, Ohio.
Hello there.
Hey,
Okay.
Chaos. You always bring a little bit of chaos with your audio. There's always like as soon the first second you join,
I
there's always a massive
echo a little bit.
and then it calms down. Like bring in the chaos. I love it.
Well, I think Chaos has got kids there too, and they like to participate, so that's okay. So no problem. Okay. Anyway, what our first assumption is that the attack on Mars by the Earth is unsuccessful. In other words, I'm going to play two videos here of how the first one will be a successful attack. Here it is. And that thing just kept going. I mean, it literally infected.
Well, that's the thing. That is more of a some sort of directly damaging attack. That doesn't appear to be any kind of a biological attack. I think it was just representative of a attack on Mars more than anything.
Yeah, this is from that video, but it could be though that the attack, even the explosion, its initial damaging effect would be to hit the planet and damage whatever it's hitting.
Yeah.
Of course, I don't see a city there, but
No.
anyway.
Well,
But
that's the thing. It could also be it was a mix of conventional weaponry. Well,
Yes.
conventional, relatively speaking. They probably had
Yes.
nukes involved, but mix it in with using the more conventional attacks to weaken planetary defenses and then introduce that biological attack or that nanotech.
And this is just one aspect of that. That's a good point. Another thing about the being a chemical weapon, if it was nuclear itself, just nuclear, then if there were, nanites that were being spread, in other words, the explosion,
they would have been vaporized.
They would have been either vaporized or the EMP would have disabled them, So that's probably it, but we don't really know. But that was basically at least a major prong of the attack on Earth. I mean, by Earth on Mars. Now here's what I think, or what I want to assume, and that's going to be in this video. So you
Did
see,
you make these? Did you make these graphics?
Yes. Well, I didn't make the background there. That was out of the movie. That was out of that one video. But I
recognize it from the short off of the extras.
Yeah, the extras. But the second one, I definitely put the little line in there to go up, and it's an anti-ballistic missile. Yeah.
Very, very impressed with all the preparation, Creaky.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate it. Anything for our girl.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're keeping us rolling.
Yeah. And so, the attack on Mars by Earth didn't happen in this scenario. Okay. In other words, the attack happened, but it was not successful. That interplanetary missile, which would probably be traveling at something on the order, of who knows how fast, 40 miles a second, maybe, or more, 50 miles a second.
I'm thinking tens of thousands of meters a second.
Probably, yeah. And also the think of that technology of being able to hit, if there was a specific target on Mars, that would require quite a technological feat. And of course, launching a missile that would intercept that thing that's traveling at that high speed, that's faster than hypersonic. That would require great technology as well,
That's kind of what I'm thinking. They probably would have used a directed energy weapon of some sort. 'Cause
Yeah,
that would
and-
travel at about the speed of light.
yeah.
What if they dark stormed Mars?
That would definitely be difficult to that would be difficult to overcome, I think. But
by dark storm, I'm talking about Operation Dark Storm from the Matrix, where they just change everything so badly that you just don't have much of a chance afterwards. Operation Dark Storm in the Matrix films was when they covered the sky with dark clouds just to stop the solar-powered robots.
Yeah. Yeah, they could have done something like that, I guess.
Well, I think in order to be for Earth to be able to do that, they would have had to be able to overcome Mars's defenses, because I don't think Mars would just sit by and let them do that.
Yeah.
What if a nanite cloud? If the nanite cloud gets big enough, the defenses might eventually be overwhelmed.
Well, the problem is if they don't destroy the Mars's capabilities in an attack, then Mars can simply generate some sort of a counter to that.
Yeah, and in terms of the methodologies used here for the attack, that's we could discuss various ways they could attack. They could have used, like Lee suggested, they could maybe identify some of the sites on Mars that have some particularly high maybe radioactive material or extremely explosive material or something like that, and fire a particle beam weapon at it. And that would not be as cumbersome, I guess you would say, as a missile. A missile. Now this missile is
modern missiles get crazy though, because modern missiles are like are multiple warheads in the same missile, so it breaks apart into multiple bombs that clusters an area with separate nuclear explosions.
That's right.
It's not a simple missile anymore.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's that MERV, I guess.
Yeah, multiple independent vehicles.
Yeah, MERV.
But I think here for this one, we're going to just go with what we have in the video, where they launched the missile that started the nanite plague. But in this case, Mars intercepts and destroys that missile. Now, we could go into, well, how many missiles would Earth fire? They would probably fire more than one for sure.
Yeah.
They'd probably fire a bunch of them. But if that's the case, we're going to say that Mars intercepted all of the missiles. Now that'd be a technical
99
feat.
missiles.
That's right. And they had intercepted 99 of them. So the premise here is that, okay, Earth's attack on Mars has failed. So they really didn't impact Mars's ability to sustain a long-going conflict or war. Okay? So that's the number one thing that happens here. Any question about that?
Right. I don't know, because was anyone on Mars off world and they just figured, okay, they blew us up, so it's just do or die.
Probably.
We're all dead anyways.
Yeah, I would say they probably were. It's kind of like the U.S.'s nuclear submarines. They're not all in the U.S. Obviously, they're out in various oceans and seas. So if we get hit, it's part of what's called the nuclear triad. They can still attack the aggressor, with nuclear missiles that are on the submarines. That would probably be true here. But what I'm saying is that, Mars has a lot of resources, or this is the assumption anyway. They have a lot of resources. A lot of their logistics originates from the planet and stuff like this. So if you take out Mars, they'll have, elements of their military off world, but how long would they be able to sustain, the ability to fight if their supply chains cut,
Well, that's why I figured they got desperate, because the home was destroyed. So either we die or we just die trying.
Yeah. But in this case, we're going to say that Mars was not affected. Earth attacked them, but they did not. It did not.
The attack was not effective.
Yeah, that's right. But the attack by Mars on Earth is successful, just like it suggests in that one special features video.
The Fall. It's called The Fall. Yeah.
Yeah,
On the DVD, it's called The Fall.
Yeah,
There's four. I believe there's four because there's Motorball, The Fall, Iron City, Narrated by Hugo, and Japan, Life as a Cyborg. So there's four.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. That's right. So anyway, but I guess the attack by the URM is successful, just like it was to begin with. So now you've got a situation where one planet attacks the other one and it has no effect, but the other planet attacks them and it is successful. So you can see right now that Mars has a great advantage over the Earth. Okay, because they have essentially knocked out 90% of all humans, that are living on Earth, and probably 90% of all species on Earth, for that matter. I guess the plague was a human-specific thing, so maybe not 90% of all humans. Maybe apes would be affected. Well, they'd be affected, but yeah.
Well, I mean, if you had, say, like rabies, for instance, rabies affects mammals. It doesn't affect reptiles.
Yeah, that's right. Well, that could have been the case here, and they don't really go into a lot of detail, on what the nature of the plague was, whether it was a virus or whether it was some very, resilient kind of microorganism or something like this,
like a parasite. Like
they don't know that. Now you do see that one guy on that first bed there. He's a cyborg. He's got one of his limbs, it looks like two of his limbs, his right arm and his right leg are definitely cyborgs. And then the guy on the third bed over there, almost out of the picture, he's a cyborg. You can see, looks like both of his arms are cybernetic. So
well, that's the thing. I got the impression that cybernetics were very common to both worlds. It's just that it seemed like Mars might have developed some sort of advancements in cybernetic technology that Earth didn't have access to.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, if you see that cybernetics on that guy in that first bed, that looks kind of advanced, but it doesn't look that much more advanced than what we got now, does it? I mean, not really. I mean, you think about Tilly's bionic hand. It's a pretty cool thing, Yeah. It doesn't look much more. This leg this guy has here in his arm that you see he's got putting on his forehead, it doesn't look like it's that much further advanced than Tilly's bionic hand, So
the difference would be in how it's controlled, like directly from the brain.
Yeah, I would say in this case that both of those cybernetic limbs are controlled directly by the brain and not. Well, the brain does directly control Tilly's hand, but she has to flex a muscle.
You flex a muscle.
Brain. Yeah.
Rather than it being like a natural thought.
Yeah. Or it's kind of like when you move your finger, you're moving a muscle. You move your hand.
Yeah, true.
Same thing, your brain's directing that. So now she probably had to learn how to do that.
Yeah, she's lucky that she got the arms so young. Yeah, well, obviously not lucky is the wrong word, but it means that if it just becomes like second nature to her, which is what you really want when you've got to get used to interacting with the world, with the physical world.
Yeah, I tell you, I think Tilly's extraordinary too. She's
I can't wait to see her band.
Oh yeah, that's going to be cool. Yeah, she's a very special lady, I think.
Yeah, she can play instruments too. She plays the piano. She's got like an attachment for one hand that plays chords.
Nice.
So with the left hand, and with the right hand, he just presses like a melody, and it works really well.
Nice. Yeah,
and she can drum. I've seen some amazing drummers who they've got no arms.
Yeah,
I think music's one cool way that prosthetic technology it can be used for like the good, like creative side of things, rather than like the military.
Well, Tilly, if you're looking at this stream, I want you to know the Creek thinks you're a really special person. So, and I think everybody on this panel thinks you're special too. So anyway, keep up the good work. Anyway, get off of that. So anyway, the attack on Earth by the URM is successful. So now that gives one side a decided edge. That gives Mars a huge advantage. Now, the battle on the moon, that outcome doesn't change. The URM won that battle. We have to assume they did because, at least this is my assumption, because they managed to get to Earth, and they fought on the moon, and then now it doesn't really say which one came first. My assumption is that the battle on the moon was first, then the battle for Zalem, because Zalem, that was the last night of the war, and this is during the war, so this is not the last night right here. So, or it probably isn't. So, anyway, the reason why this one has to be, the outcome has to remain a success for the URM is because I think they wanted to use the moon as kind of like a staging area on which they could launch, further attacks against Earth without having to travel, say anywhere from 6 to 9 months from Mars to launch attacks and send spacecraft, that would, take all that time to get to Earth. Now, they may have a more advanced propulsion system, don't know that, but, certainly the moon's closer, and it would be easier to attack the Earth from the moon than it would be from Mars. At least that's my opinion. What do you guys think?
Well, I think it would go without saying that they got a much more advanced propulsion system.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, you just look at the engines on the ship. Their exhaust plumes are nothing like the exhaust plumes we've got on rockets today.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They may have more of an ion drive or something like that, I guess.
Or perhaps maybe even some kind of plasma drive or something.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they would use the moon as like a launching base.
Yes.
Because it just makes sense. You don't have to get out of the Earth's atmosphere every time.
Yeah. Well, they would call it a forward operating base is what they call it. FOB is what they would call it. Yeah. So anyway, the URM won that battle, and they still have to win the battle for our scenario to play out here. Okay. So, and you got the feeling just when I looked at this, the many times I've seen it, particularly the first time, I got the feeling that the URM soldiers were much more powerful than the Earth soldiers. I mean, here's Alita taking out 3 of these guys. They're armed, and she is not.
Well, you also consider too the fact that she's a berserker, and the berserkers are sort of a special forces.
Yes.
So this particular battle may just be the special forces berserkers versus standard Earth military infantry.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Chaos.
No, yeah. It just might be that that's their special one, and their exceptional few that they have. I don't know. I mean, I presume they won. I mean, we just get glimpses on and off.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and this is, admittedly, this is an assumption on the Creek's part.
But we could kind of go into speculation about things that happened and why it ended up the way it did.
Yeah, well, we're getting there on that one. We'll get there. So anyway, according to the Creek, what I think is that the URM actually won this battle, Battle
or skirmish? I mean, it's a matter of scale.
Yeah, I guess so. We don't really get a feeling for that. I know in the novelization that they talk about, there was you can see one here. You see this vehicle that's above Alita and that Earth soldier right there. Them firing directed energy weapons, at the soldiers on the ground on Mars.
Oh, you even see a ship in low altitude up there that's firing down into the melee.
Yeah, and you can see it looks like it was a particle beam weapon, or it could be plasma. Who knows?
Some kind of directed energy weapon.
Yeah, that's right. So, whether a battle, a skirmish, I don't know. I would think, now this is just my opinion. I mean, having worked in the Defense Department for so long, never in the military though, something as important as trying to establish a forward operating base like this would require, quite an investment, in the military. I would think this is probably a battle, but yeah, it could be that it's just the special operations group that's just was the I guess the
The moon
front-
had something in the way, I guess.
Yeah,
Possibly.
Well, that's the thing. We're only seeing a tiny portion of
Yes.
whatever else is going on. So it could be there's a much greater battle going on, maybe over the hills or outside of camera range or what have you. And it could
it
be
could-
that the berserkers are just hitting one specific portion of the battlefield
Yeah.
to achieve some sort of specific goal. And there's
that-
still a lot more fighting going on that we don't see.
Yeah, or it could be that the berserkers are maybe I guess the tip of the spear, and they get there first just to get a foothold, and the rest of the troops come in after.
Could be, yeah.
Who knows, But the idea here is that this battle or skirmish, whatever it is, that the URM is successful in establishing this forward operating base.
Mhm.
That's kind of the way I see it, because they have to do that to be able to beat Earth, I think, or else they're going to be fighting from long range, if they don't. So any thoughts about this, you guys?
No, it's just also vague from the movie and everything I've seen.
Yeah, it is. They leave a lot out, which is why it'd been great to have a 3-hour movie, wouldn't it?
Mhm.
I mean, it's not like they have the facilities in the orphanage, as far as we know, like the manga.
Yeah, that's right.
That's where the guy just went. That's where. Oh, why am I forgetting his name? Bertrand wanted to die because he killed the kids
Yeah.
in that orphanage facility.
That's rough.
And Alita granted his whistle, putting a knife in his head.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Alita can do that.
Well, he asked for it, but yeah.
Yeah, he did. Okay, any more thoughts about this battle on the moon here?
No, it's just freaking awesome battle.
Yeah, 99 on your left, and then she proceeds to just destroy whoever's in front of her.
Having so much fun as well.
Yeah. Now the URM wins the Battle of Zalem, and of course that's what Hugo called it. So we got to assume this is a battle. Now we don't know the scope of this. It's kind of like Lee was saying a while ago. They may have had, going up every one of the supply tubes, a squad.
Well, we do know they had forces attacking all the other cities around the planet as well. So they had a lot of forces they're throwing at this.
Yeah, that's right. To take out these floating cities, which are not really floating. They're really anchored to the whatever city is above them, the Star City or Jeru, I guess. Do not stand by. He had to leave, but he says, I'm looking forward to Comic-Con tomorrow. So yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. So
are you still thinking of live streaming it?
Yes, I am, as a matter of fact.
Do you know how to do that?
Oh, good luck.
Well, what I am going to do, Maxie and I talked about this, is that if we're still there when Radio Chaos is going on, I'll live stream it. Otherwise, I'll just shoot video.
Yeah.
And when I get back here, then I can share it from my computer, or, and it depends on the internet connection there too. I might not be able to if the internet connection's not good, So, but I know what to log into on StreamYard, for that. So, and then I guess Tony can yes.
Have you got a battery pack for your phone and stuff?
Oh yeah. I got a quite good battery pack for that. So
all right, good.
Yeah, we're good for that. But anyway, one way or another, we're going to see video. So it depends on when folks have to get back and stuff like that. I know that the Radio Chaos stream starts at 3:00. We're going to get there at 10. So, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But there will be video.
Apart
That's for sure.
Apart from the Blu-rays, are you bringing anything else?
I'm not. I don't know if I think no, not really. I don't think. I guess next year I want to set up a booth down there. So, but we'll worry about that in the future, I guess. I wanted to do that this year, but all the booths were taken. So I couldn't do it, even though I tried to get the booth like 9 months in advance, and it was still all taken. So
Your mission is to find me one Alita cosplayer there. There's got to be one.
yeah, I hope. Well, I'll get
'Cause
video of it if they
You
are.
said you weren't going to pay for one to come with you.
You
Oh,
better.
don't worry,
no,
Finn.
no,
We'll talk about that
well,
later.
whoa, wait a minute, wait a minute. No, my friend who's the actress, she can't. She's not in town. So
Yeah. No, I'm just playing around.
she can't. Yeah, okay. Otherwise, she might do it. You know, I mean, I'd
I think I was disappointed when you said you couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Next time, maybe.
Yeah, next time we'll see if she's in town. You know, they may get her to
Alita
do
was
it.
disappointed.
Yeah.
Your niece was disappointed.
Yeah, she was. Well, you know, I don't like to disappoint my niece because it could be hazardous to your health for one thing.
Mm-hmm.
No, but anyway, the URM wins the Battle of Zalem. Now, a couple of ways this could happen, of course, is that when they shoot the defense ring comes down, they break it up like that, but it doesn't cut the supply tube. But another way they could have done it, if you remember that scene where Alita's trying to get Hugo to come back down with her, she jumps over the supply ring. Why can't these berserkers jump over the supply ring? They could.
Are all of these berserkers?
Yes, they're all berserkers.
Male and female berserkers.
Yeah.
Well, you can't.
They
Yeah,
weren't wearing spacesuits, body armor. They weren't carrying 20-pound assault rifles from Mars.
Yeah.
Plus extra ammo packs and whatever else, not magnetic boots.
Well, with the exception of Alita not having a helmet on, the rest of them, all of them look like they got, with the exception of Gelda, I guess, not Zelda, but Gelda. They look like they.
You can't cover up that perfect base with a helmet.
That's exactly right. But the rest of their uniforms look similar, you know. So I think they're all berserkers, you know.
Yeah, but Gelda bossed them around though. Like when there's I think she's got a sense that they're probably going to send down us a supply tube thing soon. So then she sends them up front, and they all just die because they're cannon fodder.
Well,
so I thought they might have been less than not like senior berserkers. They might have been less.
Well, not necessarily
grunts.
though, Vladdy, because if you remember when Hugo got chopped up, Alita actually jumped over the supply ring. I think these berserkers could do that too.
Possibly, but also Alita is in a whole different universe in her new. Like it might have been a situation where berserkers normally couldn't jump over it, but because
could be
like Hugo was in danger, she summoned her spirit. Like you know when mothers lift up cars. I don't know if that's a myth. To save their baby.
Well, be that.
I'm thinking actually it might be there was some sort of defense system in place that if they left the surface of the tube, they were in danger of being cut down by that defense system. So they stuck close to the surface.
Could be. That could be another thing, you know. Looks like Chaos had to leave too.
Like I said, I think it's because of the fact that they're also weighed down by said ammo packs and space rifles.
I'm not really seeing that being a possibility, considering how powerful those bodies are physically.
Yeah, she was able to, lift up that Gatling gun, which weighed 600 pounds.
Well,
with one hand.
There's no moon battle where gravity is.
That's what is it, 1/6 or something like that? Yeah.
Well, even so, they don't have a lot of height to get over, and those bodies are capable of lifting hundreds of pounds easily.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, there's Chaos. He came back.
Actually, I closed the wrong window. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. We thought you might have done it just to change your avatar.
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking it was a point defense system of some type that was in play that kept them close to prevent themselves from getting in the line of fire.
How about the energy? How about the repulsive energy fields? Just like the manga.
Yeah. That would be something else they would have to overcome.
Well, you can overcome it. You have to move through it very slowly because the greater the speed you encounter the field at, the more the field repels you. So a bullet would be repelled because of the supersonic speed, but if someone was just somehow just walking slowly, they would pass through that. The
Yeah,
greater
kind of
kinetic
like,
energy, the more repulsion. It's like Dune.
well, it's not only
When they
that.
were practicing with knives, like the knife would go
Oh,
through it because it was slower than a bullet, but bullets wouldn't go through their Holtzman shield
Yeah.
in the Dune film.
Yeah, did you see? I guess the Fantastic Four, the 2, I guess, which is the one where they meet the Silver Surfer. Remember how he got through the Invisible Woman's force field by just slowly sticking his head through it?
Right.
Yeah, similar.
I was thinking Dune because Dune is specific in Frank Herbert's Dune novels. It's specifically the speed at which something impacts the field. The greater the speed of impact, the more the field repels.
Yeah, that's
whatever
right.
the object is. So
So if you go through slow,
you
you don't have as much. Yeah. But anyway, regardless of how they won, the URM wins. Okay, which I'm going to make the assumption that with the URM winning, that Alita and Gelda and probably the rest of their squad there, they survive and they get up into Zalem and they just wreak havoc. They just take out, whatever military force is up there. They screw up the defense systems and, who knows what else they do to it, but they win the battle. So essentially, by winning these four separate scenarios, they win the war. Now,
yeah.
What does that mean?
I would imagine it means that Nova is either captured or killed, for starters.
Yes. Yep. Because it doesn't matter. He does have that nanite cloud, that he can reassemble himself and stuff like that. But I would think that the URM would have a sufficient safeguard against that to where they could repress, his ability to rebuild himself like that.
Well, that's the thing. You wouldn't necessarily have to kill him.
Yeah.
If you're just wanting to keep him from being a problem, you put him in cryostasis, or hell, not even cryostasis. They've actually got real stasis fields, like the one that they kept the Berserker body on that ship.
Yeah.
Just stick him in a stasis cage and leave him there.
Yeah.
Well, the ice part would kind of work.
Yeah, it would.
Or just toss them out into space with no spacesuit on, like in the James Bond movie Moonraker, where he tossed the villain out into space with no suit or anything on him.
Yeah, he would last maybe 13 seconds.
It takes like 30 seconds to a minute to make water in your body start boiling.
I heard
the boiling part, that's where you really can't recover.
Yeah, I heard it was more like 13 seconds, but be that as it may.
Well, you're unconscious pretty fast.
Yeah, that's right.
No pressure. But the boiling part where the saliva, blood, and all that other liquid in your body, basically in a vacuum, water boils at around 0 degrees, around the freezing point of water at normal pressure.
Yeah. Well, anyway. The fact that the URM has now, in our scenario here, the fact that they have won the war. Now, what does that mean? Now, for Alita, there's a couple of pretty important things there. She's not Alita, is she?
Nope.
She's Yoko. Now, you remember Yoko in the manga? She's a different person than she is.
Cold-blooded killing machine.
That's exactly right. She's not the nice, sweet little girl that we know in the movie.
In fact, Alita never comes into being.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah. Oh, I see. You've got a live stream link there. I'm gonna go ahead and put this in here, Chaos. If anybody wants to join it.
Oh, he says ignore the stream link. He got copies of the post somehow. Dope.
Okay, well, ignore that. Darn it. Let me see if I can delete that. No, I can't. Oh, well. Okay, well, ignore that one. So, I guess I could do it in YouTube, though, can I? Let me see if I can delete it there. Yeah, remove. There we go. Yeah, there we go. All right, I removed it. So, yeah, Jeff is right. Yeah, she's basically brainwashed, isn't she? I mean, she's been indoctrinated, and
it's not who she really is.
Yeah, she's not Alita, that's for sure. You know, she's a totally different person.
She's like
Also-
what you know in Africa where the kids get taken and they become like
Child
child
soldier?
slaves,
Yeah,
child soldier. Yeah,
Yeah.
it ain't her fault.
No, it's not her fault. As a matter
Cut
of
me
fact,
some slack. Let's just
she's-
pretend it never happened.
no, we
Doesn't
can't
make
do
her
that.
any
Let's
less
stop
deadly.
talking about it.
Yeah, that's right. Doesn't make her any less deadly. That's right, Bloody.
Can't we just talk about how sweet she is?
Well, we can talk if Angelus wants to. We can talk about the uwu. She still has that ear.
Well, we could, but unfortunately,
Yeah.
this is a what-if scenario where the sweet, innocent little Alita never appeared.
That's right.
They're
Well,
gonna
that's fine.
kill me with like flashbacks in the next few movies, aren't they?
Yeah, they probably are. Yeah, because she's going to be bloodthirsty in those flashbacks if they really go into depth in her military experience. You know,
The only thing my baby is thirsty for is chocolate and orange.
Perhaps
maybe-
so, but Yoko is thirsty for blood and killing.
yeah, that's right.
Okay, maybe.
Well,
I
like
that
say,
too.
well, here's the thing. She would probably be part of the occupation force on Earth.
I was kind of thinking if that was the case, that's a rather frightening prospect for anybody who gets in their path.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, yeah, I would not want to mess with her, especially her being Yoko, not Alita.
That's another question too. Is like how much of the Earth population would still be alive? What would they do with Earth's population when they did take over?
I don't know, because I think probably 90% of all humans were wiped out by that biological weapon. So, you know, I don't know. You know,
there may not be enough of a human population left for them to worry about, or an Earth population, I should say.
Well, I would think they would want some presence there. You know, that would be my guess.
Oh, they
Well,
would
here's
have they would definitely have a presence. There's just, would there be enough of an Earth, enough Earth natives for them to worry about doing anything particularly?
You mean like rebelling?
Well, for them to really crack down and try to destroy more of the population to prevent some sort of an uprising.
Probably not, because they were so disorganized. If you remember from Ito was saying all people from all over the world came to Iron City, and you saw that. I mean, Iron City.
Yeah, they were scattered and broken.
Yeah, and there's not that many people in Iron City, so you got the feeling that billions died.
That's a question. It's like how many people were in, or at least in the movie's current timeline, was it about 5 million people in Iron City? 3 million? Less?
They didn't really go into that, but I don't know.
It didn't seem very big, did it?
No.
I'd say.
Well, that's the thing. If it didn't, it may not have
than
necessarily
she said.
covered a large area, but it could have been packed with people, considering it was like the last civilization.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the thing about Alita or Yoko in the 26th century, now you remember that in the Great War, that was fought in the 23rd century. So, you know, Alita wouldn't have been captured by the Earth Defense Force and then tortured and thrown over the side. She's in charge. So at this point, now she's still going to be 300 years old, but she's probably not going to be like the sweet little teenager.
Oh, that's the thing. She probably wouldn't actually have lived that long. I mean, the only reason she lived that long in the movie was because of that emergency hibernation system.
Well, yeah, possibly, but I think cyborgs can live longer than humans because you know they've got those nanites in there that are kind of repairing them, and their medical technology is more advanced. Who knows? You know.
Well, in that case, she would have been a lot older than she was in the movie too. I mean, biologically, she was around 18 years old or so.
Yeah.
And so if she actually went and lived through every single one of those years at being active and doing things, then she'd probably have gray hair.
Yes.
Well, not necessarily literally because, you know, she's a cyborg, but, you know, she'd be of that age where if she were biological, she would have.
You mean she'd be more Creaky's speed?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, except Creaky wouldn't want to mess with her as Yoko.
Yeah.
Plus, she's still my niece. So, you know,
Yeah.
I'd have to be on
Actually,
this
that's
side of
another
her.
question too. Would all that time alive eventually soften her anyway, as she got, maybe became more sympathetic to the people around her in her old age?
Yeah, I would think so, because people tend to get more mature. They tend to see things different the older they get. I'm speaking from experience, folks.
Well, they tend to. That's not always
Yeah,
the case.
yeah,
There are
it's not
people
all.
that have
That's
actually
right.
gotten worse in their old age,
Yeah, no kidding.
What are you doing
especially
on the
veterans that
8th?
have been. Come again?
What is Creaky doing on the 8th of September?
Oh, 8th of September, I'm going to be doing a live stream, and we're probably going to do a watch party.
No, you're not. You're going to be in the cinema watching Rosa.
Oh, I am.
Oh, that's when that's coming out.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, I could go to the cinema on the 9th.
Oh, that's true. It is to count towards the weekend takings.
Yeah, I got to
Wait,
do
which movie are you talking about?
That's
I think the new Marvel one,
the Marvel movie that's coming out where she
Rosa plays a villain.
That's
Yeah.
not out
No.
September 8th.
Million miles away.
Yeah, it's not in the cinema though.
It apparently has a limited release in US movie
Does it?
theaters.
Oh, it's a different movie. Okay.
Yeah, that MCU one's not out till like a year away or something.
Yeah, this one's
Yeah, A Million Miles Away is on Amazon. I didn't know it was going into the cinema as well. That's cool.
Well,
Yeah,
Odd John
that's
has a good point here. Alita in this particular scenario, assuming that she lived into the 26th century, particularly in the 23rd century, she's not going to adapt. She's not going to adjust or adapt very well to just like
I would
normal,
agree initially, but 300 years is a very long time for
yeah,
changes
and
to
she
take
probably would at that point. Yeah.
place. So for the first maybe 100 years or so, probably going to be this very much the same. But I mean, considering how much changes a person can undergo in just 1 year, you add string 300 of them together, and things can go very differently from how people might have planned.
Yes.
I don't know. I feel
But
like
that's
in
not to
300
say
years,
she
I'd
would.
probably
She
just be
may
doing
end
the
up
same old
staying
thing
the
anyway.
same.
What's that, Bloody?
I said in 300 years, I'd probably still just be doing the same old thing because I'm just, compared to Alita, I'm just lazy.
complaining about Disney.
Yeah, tweeting, saying, why have they still not greenlit my sequel? It's been 300 years.
That's what Creaky's going to be doing in 300 years.
Yeah, still promoting the petition.
When is my sign a petition? Yeah, that's right.
We're
So-
nearly at 200,000.
Yeah, but I think in this scenario right here, there is no Alita.
There is
She's
only Yoko.
She's Yoko, so she's a different person. I know that disappoints you, Vladi, but
There is no Dana, only Zool.
that's right. That's good. I love that. Yes. So anyway, Alita would be very different. I think we agree with that. She would be Yoko. She'd be older, assuming she survived 600 to live to be 300 years as a living person. Oh, Vladi got kicked out, and Vladi came back. Vladi, what'd you do? What happened?
I just accidentally closed. I'm on my tablet. I accidentally closed Chrome.
So anyway, I kicked the other Vladi out.
It was
This
an
is-
imposter Vladdy.
This is
Did
that
it-
was
Was it
V1.
satisfying?
That was
They
V1.
sound like an AI with my.
No, it
with
was
my voice.
V1. You're V2.
Oh,
Or this is your V1 and that was V2,
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah, something like that. So, okay, Yoko it's Yoko now. It's not Alita. Also, think about this. Jeru and Zalem would be very different, wouldn't they? It'd be
They'd be under Martian control, yeah. And
Yeah.
I've got to wonder, it's like Jeff says, ultimately she would be used as a political scapegoat. I have to wonder, why would she be used as a political scapegoat?
well, if
They would
want
want someone to take all the blame, and
Yeah.
The blame for what? Winning the war?
Yeah, I don't think it'd be any blame to go around here.
well, when there's a violent revolution, they tend to eliminate people. Part of the
Well, what violent
revolution to
revolution,
prevent
though?
to prevent possible rivalry or betrayal.
Yeah. Well, I think in the case of Alita, though, or Yoko in this case, I think that she was a high value military asset. I don't think they got a lot invested in her. I think it would be likely that they would not blame her and kill her if they when they win the war. Who knows? You know, we just saw Vladimir Putin take out Prigozhin, so I mean, anything's possible, I guess. But yeah, I don't think they would kill her myself. If they do, they'd have to go through her uncle.
John, I don't know about direct kills there. I don't.
Yeah, and the movie was not a covert war either. It was a very very obvious and full-on interplanetary war between superpowers.
Well, Jeff has a good point.
I mean, they wanted to make Zal fall down and blow up, but it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Would Venus or Jupiter retaliate if Mars took down
Actually,
Earth?
that's the other thing too. If Mars won the war, there would probably not be a Zalem anymore either. They would have destroyed all of the elevator cities.
Possibly, yeah.
I mean, that was their goal. And if they win the war, then they achieve their goals.
Well, unless they wanted to set up some kind of command structure up there that would be remote from the planet. But then again, if they've killed most of the people on the planet, why would they do that? So I don't know. That's a good point, I think.
I mean, if their goal during that final push was to destroy all of the remaining elevator cities, then if they win the war and they succeed, then they destroy all the cities, and then they can do whatever the hell they want.
Yeah. Would Venus or Jupiter retaliate?
Well, that assumes Venus and Jupiter are actually colonies in the movieverse.
We just don't know.
Yeah, we don't know that. Yeah.
Yeah, the only two planetary powers we know of in the movie is Earth and Mars.
Yeah. Well, going by the manga, I guess there's like
the manga is a whole different can of worms. That's a completely different political setup.
Yeah, she did kill like 100,000 people.
Actually, I think it was 250,000.
Yeah, in Operation Malwarf.
Actually, wasn't it closer to 500,000?
I'm not sure. I don't remember.
No, she didn't kill anyone.
Why do you say that, Vladdy?
She didn't. She didn't.
It's
hurt
okay,
a fly.
Vladdy. It's okay.
She's never hurt a fly.
Okay.
Can we kick on John?
Well, on John said, in other words, everybody would be pretty fucked, I think.
Yeah.
Neo-Nazi thing?
Yeah.
Neo. They're in the manga. They're like those Nazi wannabe. I call them wannabe factions because they wish they were, but they aren't. I don't believe those Nazis on Mars are the real thing. I think they're people who wish they were.
Well, Vladdy, this might help you out. Alita didn't kill those people. Yoko did. So there you go.
Yeah.
They are completely different personalities.
Yeah, that's right.
What did you say about her personalities?
I said they are completely different personalities.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they are effectively different people.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well,
you think they're the same soul? I guess they are.
Yeah, I guess it would be the same soul.
Damn it! Now I'm sad again.
Yeah,
there.
well.
Don't think too hard about it.
Yeah. This is what if. This is not what the movie verse is. Okay. Yeah. Nova would probably be dead, or as Lee said, captured.
In one way or another, he would likely be neutralized.
Yeah, he's going to be he's not going to be a problem at this point. So now the URM, how would they deal with the barjack? Because
I don't think you would be called the barjack. I could see eventually there being corruption and eventually being a rebellion within the URM just because of their own, they don't know what to do with it. They own everything. So
that's
they can't get along because eventually someone's going to be greedy and they're going to go, hey, they'll fight over something. It happens.
And that's the thing. Yeah. If in the movieverse, Chaos is a offspring of Nova in one sense or another, if
Then
Nova
there
is
is no
neutralized
den.
and taken
There
out
is
of
no
the
den,
picture,
just chaos.
yeah, if Nova is taken out of the picture one way or the other, then there may never be a chaos,
Yeah.
which means there's never a den, which means there's no leader of anything, resembling a Barjack. And if the Barjack's whole goal was to bring down Tefaris in the manga, and if the Barjack in the movieverse are the same way with Zalem, and there's no Zalem
Yeah.
because the URM destroyed it in the war, then again, you've got a completely different setup for how things develop.
But would the Barjack though rebel against the URM?
It's likely that if the URM's rule over Earth is tyrannical enough, you're going to get a significant pushback from somebody at some point.
Yes.
All I'm saying is the cat's away, the mice are going to play. And I'm just saying if the URM won, eventually they would splinter. They wouldn't be able to get along because people aren't going to want to share all the resources and power.
That's true. If the Martian republics basically turn Earth into a Martian colony, then again, they may end up splintering from the Martian republics and wanting to be, once again, an independent state.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's one of the things I think I've read about us going to Mars anyway, Elon Musk and NASA and all that going to Mars, that it would be likely that the inhabitants of Mars, they think they want, like by the year 2050, they want like 1 million people on Mars.
Yeah,
Would they? Well, we'll see.
You got to be mad to do that.
Well, maybe.
To actually go to Mars, that'd be the most uncomfortable thing I can possibly imagine.
Well, if you did, if I say I went to Mars, I'd get to meet Alita, wouldn't I? No. So, but
my
yeah,
biggest concern is how well they're going to be able to keep people healthy and alive up there, because there's a lot of environmental factors to consider on how the human body is going to be affected in a low gravity environment like that.
Yeah, it's like the gravity's like 38% of that of Earth,
which is to say nothing of resources to keep all the life support systems going.
Yeah.
Well, I saw that Matt Damon movie.
They're working on that. They're getting they've already successfully grown plants in a simulated Martian environment. So
simulated Martian environment.
Yes, that's right.
Oh, John, I really don't like whoever does Disney's castings. I really don't like them. Like all the live action remakes and stuff. They're just casted so badly, and no one has any charisma. So I'm hopefully Cameron and Rodriguez are 100% in control of the casting as well.
John, do you think that Elon thinks he's Arthur or the manifestation of Melchizedek, or Arthur, the King of England?
I don't know what Musk is. He like a robot or something?
No, he's a human.
There's something weird going on with him though.
He's a billionaire. They're all weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he wants them
shenanigans.
People, so I'm
the whole
willing.
Twitter thing, going to Mars. I don't know.
Both, he says. I love it.
Is he really the richest guy on the planet? I just don't believe it.
I don't know.
I think Lex Luthor is actually Jeff Bezos is actually the richest guy on the planet.
Jeff Bezos is Lex Luthor. That's wild.
Yeah, that's what I've always called him. I heard somebody compare him to that, and I looked at it and it's like, damn, he does look.
That's 100% right. It's the perfect comparison.
Yeah, it is.
And he's got his wife who's 30 years younger than him. Sorry, and he's got the bald head. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's a multi-billionaire many times.
Yeah, and Amazon must be like the most. It's like the most profitable company ever. I don't know.
Well, he's what you would call a mega billionaire. I mean, like you can be just someone who's not rich, or you could be a millionaire, you can be a multi-millionaire, you can be a mega millionaire, you can be a billionaire, and so forth. I think he goes way up the ladder on that one.
Yeah, he's looking to become the world's first trillionaire too. Yeah, I was going to say to John, Mars, such a boring ass planet to live on. That had better be what they hope for, because if things don't go well, Mars will become really interesting for the people living there really fast, and you don't want that.
You see, John, that's where I need to play Doom. Mars is full of monsters in that one, and it's not boring.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it becomes really interesting as in things start going really wrong for the colonists. I mean, there's an old African curse. I think it's an African curse. May you live in interesting times, or is it
Yes.
Chinese?
That's Chinese.
Oh, okay, yeah. May you live in interesting time. Yeah, you don't want Mars to become an interesting planet. You want it to be nice and boring, nice and stable.
Why do you think that, Lee?
Because if it becomes interesting, then a lot of things can go really wrong, and you get the entire colony wiped out.
So you're saying it draws attention?
Yeah. Well,
no,
not
more
only,
that. Well, I was just saying more that if you've got problems keeping the colony alive, then they're likely going to end up getting wiped out, considering how harsh the environment is, because there's no way they can get new parts or supplies from Earth in any kind of timely manner.
We should
So if
send
things are
prisoners
stable
there
and
to, like,
boring,
I don't
their
know,
chances of
mine.
survival increase dramatically.
well, if it's not boring, what you'll have is a lot of people from Earth trying to get to Mars too, wouldn't you?
It depends on in what way the interesting takes place. If the interesting is, they discover some kind of alien life, then maybe, you'll get an influx of colonists. If interesting is, oh my God, our domes are failing, you're probably not going to get an influx of colonists.
No, that'd be interesting though.
It would be an interesting thing I'd love to stay away from and watch from a distance.
Yes.
So, Lee, are you suggesting that by living in the Great Lakes, I'm increasing my odds of survival since most people don't want to go there?
Well, that's the thing. Boring is stable and safe. It's not necessarily, exciting or entertaining, but yeah.
Plus, we can see exactly what's on Mars already with the rovers and stuff.
Yeah, we can send automated systems there to do all the exploring.
You never know. We might dig up a portal to a dimension of pure chaos on Mars someday.
And it's much better
Corporation
to have automated systems dig up that portal than have people there.
Chaos, are you saying Mentor is boring?
Well, I mean, it's like if you don't really have high-rise buildings there, it looks like a huge stretch of a huge suburban stretch. You don't have it doesn't look very city-like. I mean, it's like tens of thousands of people, but it doesn't look.
That sounds great to me. I hate cities.
So you probably like it. You can travel a little north and you go to, and there's Lake Erie, and that's it's not an ocean beach, but it's a beach for how huge the lake is.
That reminds me of something that Mike Reyes and I got into a little discussion about on one of the streams where we were talking about Godzilla versus Kong, and one of the cities that Godzilla kind of lays waste to, or kind of, invades, or whatever you want to call it, is Pensacola, Florida, which happens to be my hometown. And I told him, I said, well, that was a pretty cool scene, but Mike, there's no skyscrapers in Pensacola, Florida. And he says, well, not with that attitude, there isn't. So, so I guess Mentor's like that. Okay.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's the appearance. They don't make it look like a busy city, so people don't feel that way.
Yeah. That's kind of like Newland, North Carolina. It's a similar thing. It's not.
It's like a stretch of houses where everyone seems to have a yard. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool game takes place on Mars. You can break down every building brick by brick. Oh, okay.
Oh yeah,
cool.
I've heard of that one. That looks like a good game.
Yeah, Red Faction. I've heard of that game. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. You could bash through the walls and dig tunnels in the first one. That was cool. I'm talking about John's comment about Red Faction.
Mm-hmm. Well, those destructible environment games.
Yeah, exactly. When it was all kind of new.
Well, I think we've all agreed that things would be pretty different if the URM.
Very different. Many of the things we are recognized as major parts of the world would probably not exist if the Martians had managed to win.
Well, I do say this, if their attack on Earth is successful, the conditions on Earth with the people that were around the planet, not necessarily right under Zolomon and Iron City, but that would not change. They would still the folks that survive would still be doing what they're doing.
Maybe their standard of living might raise over time, though. I mean, if Mars
that's true
wins, they're probably going to want to make it a livable and useful world, which might mean that they would start integrating the native Earth inhabitants into the Martian cities that they build.
So you're saying it might not be a dictatorship like?
It would be a dictatorship, but it might not be, the corrugated huts slapped together on the tops of pipelines running across the city that we have now in Iron City.
Yeah, I think Iron City would be damn different. That's for sure.
Probably be clean, orderly, high-tech looking.
Yeah, over time, because remember Iron City was pretty much damaged quite a bit, because there was that one spaceship.
But considering how fast it takes us to build new buildings with just technology we've got, considering the kind of capabilities the Martians would probably bring in, they'd probably be able to rebuild the city in a matter of months.
Mm-hmm. John thinks we need another Alita game, and I agree 100%.
I agree with that.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Numerous new PC games and console games. And
How stupid is it that we don't have a game yet? She's perfect to be like.
I did a poll whether or not Alita should be a Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat character. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, she'd be cool in that. They've got to do some marketing like that when the sequels go ahead.
Yes.
I'm just saying put the character in a game because they've done it. They did it with Mortal Kombat. They put Omni-Man in that one. And
really?
Yes.
Oh, I think I saw that. Yeah.
People have designed.
And they actually got the voice from the Amazon Prime TV series.
They got J.K. Simmons to
voice Omni-Man when in the game.
People have designed Tekken characters based on Alita.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I recall seeing a couple of those. Wasn't there one also in Cyberpunk 2077, Angela?
Right. Turlo Dorman was doing that. But I'm going to go back to playing the old Oni with the Last Order design eventually.
Well, bringing it back to Alita or Yoko, we agree that that person would be totally different. And if Jeru and Zalem weren't destroyed, that would be totally different situation. If they let Jeru and Zalem remain, then it wouldn't be like it is in the movie. It would be under Martian control, and it would be Iron Fist control more than likely.
There is also the possibility that the Martian republics complete their genocide of Earth too. They bring down Zalem. They destroy the city on the other end of the elevator, Jeru, I guess you guys have been calling it. And they just completely finish wiping out every last man, woman, and child on Earth, completely wiping out all Earth natives. Because there weren't many to begin with at that point in the war anyway.
Well, why though would they do that if they could use the indigenous?
Well, at that point, it may be all about simply completely exterminating the other side. Because it seemed like that's.
But what he's saying is, if the nuclear attack didn't work, they'd still have Mars left over.
Well, no. What I'm actually saying is if Mars wanted to make Earth a more productive planet for them. And why would they not use the indigenous population to help them do that? They could keep them under their thumbs.
Well, that's the thing. That's a very rational way of looking at it. From everything I've seen throughout history, once a war hits a certain point, everybody stops thinking rationally. And with that kind of war, with the kind of weapons they're throwing at each other, it may be just about completely annihilating the other side and leaving no one left.
Yeah, possibly, but I still think though that they would not do that. I think they would, because most of the, that way, if they use the indigenous population of Earth, that means less people for them to transport to Earth, to
It also means you have a population ripe for uprising.
That's true.
And if you wipe them out, you have no chance of an uprising.
But what's to stop?
But what's to stop just Martians from fighting Martians? Because that could happen too.
Yeah. If they sent people here to do what they're doing, and what's to stop them from becoming autonomous?
Never underestimate the arrogance of a leadership.
Yeah. Yeah, I think.
I'm sorry. Never underestimate the arrogance, stupidity, and short-sightedness of a leadership.
Well, you don't want to do that. But I still think that they would. Well, that's true. But I still think it would be more beneficial for them, just from a cost-benefit, standpoint, to use the indigenous population of Earth to help them, get the resources or whatever they need.
Well, here's a quick question. Do you think our government is acting in a particularly rational way with considering what's happening now?
Irrational in what way? For what?
Well, we've got that wildfire that wiped out that city.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Our government as it stands doesn't appear to be reacting in a very rational method to that.
Well, I do think in that case,
leadership doesn't. A lot of times, I've seen the leadership in many countries, not just our own, just act very short-sighted.
I think part of it is that it wasn't expected. Here's a context: is that the Pacific Ocean is the world capital for hurricanes, but the chances of a hurricane specifically getting that wind in the path of Hawaii itself,
I don't even know what we're
low. I'm just saying it could have been an unexpected disaster if the story of the wind knocking down the power lines caused it.
True.
But you didn't expect it to happen, even though it was possible. It just didn't happen. So
the people on the ground who live there say that there's a Navy base not more than like several hours away. It wouldn't have taken them more than a day to get supplies there in place to start helping people out. Well, the fact of the matter is, leadership does not act in a rational or logical manner a lot of the time.
That's true. But I do think, though, in case of Maui, though, I do think, I don't want to get into this because we're going to get political, and we're already making Odd John laugh at us a lot. So
okay, we could talk about why do we?
My point is this, though. Maui since everything got burned to the ground, not everything, but damn near everything got burned to the ground. It's difficult to get in and out of there. Now, does our leadership actually act like dumbasses? Yeah, they do a lot. There's no doubt about that. And that's not limited to Democrats or Republicans. That can be anybody.
It's in every country, everywhere.
Yeah. Well, there is one thing about that, though. I've noticed a lot of the footage from people on the ground who live there, the natives that still are in the area, supplies from local residents and other communities have gotten in there very easily. They've had no trouble.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But suffice it to say, they wouldn't necessarily wipe out all remaining Earth citizens, the Martians, that is. So it could go either way, in my estimation.
Yeah, I'm not even sure how we got to that topic.
Yeah, I don't either.
The fact that leadership acts like a bunch of morons.
They can if they don't have a really good incentive. That's kind of where I like the underdog.
And the creek is
kind of had the pressure on you to do something right, or you're gone.
The creek is going to bring this back to Alita, and we're going to get off this political shit.
Thank you. I agree. But we can talk about the in-universe or in-continuity part. Like, why did Earth win?
Well, the whole thing about, it could be, to Lee's point, the Martians, the URM, they could be headed by some jingoistic, narcissistic kind of.
There could be a form of extreme.
That could be like
nationalism.
Nova.
Yeah.
Well, it could be like Nova. You have somebody
takes over.
And
xenophobia.
You would have you could have somebody like Nova that's heading up the URM military. Now, since they are a confederacy, I guess you would call it, the United Republics of Mars, you might have 3 or 4 of these people, but we don't know, so anyway. I think Anjan's having a ball out there listening to us.
Mm.
Yes. Okay. What else about what else do you guys think about this when the Great War? In other words, here's another question. This could go under anything else. Is there going to be a last order?
For the
In what?
movies?
But yeah.
I mean, what we got now is the last
Oh,
order.
with this in this what if scenario?
Yeah, if the URM wins the war, and if they do destroy Jeru and Zalem, why do we have a last order?
They probably would not have such a thing. Or
That's
if they
right.
did, it would take a form that we probably wouldn't even really recognize. It may even take a form completely unexpected.
Yeah. It could be that the URM says, okay, we conquered Earth. Why don't we go after Venus and Jupiter? I mean, they
Do
got
people
us.
live on Jupiter in the
Well, they live in
How does
like
that work?
they live
Space
in
stations.
orbital. Yeah, that's right.
Oh,
They
and
live
on
in
the moons.
Well, probably not.
Good
Well,
old moons.
they may live on the moons, but I think I know on Venus doesn't have any
I was
moons,
on the moon.
and they have Executive Order 99. I love that. Go ahead, Vlad.
Isn't Jupiter's gravity like super strong?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It is, but if you're far enough away and you're in orbit, it's not going to
Oh,
matter.
right. Yeah, you just have to be like miles and miles away.
Yeah.
Yeah, or Jupiter's volume, I think, according to one film I saw like a long time ago, has enough volume to hold 1,000 Earths inside of it. So yeah, it's got a
Yeah.
lot of gravity.
Yeah.
Jesus.
In fact, it's I think some scientists or astronomers or whatever, I can't remember what the term was, they classified it as a possible protostar,
Yeah.
meaning that if it had gained just a little bit more mass, it would have turned into a second sun.
That's right.
I hear it like stops loads of asteroids hitting us because of its
Yes, it does.
strong
It acts like a
gravitational
shield.
pull. Based Jupiter, looking out for all little old humans.
Mhm. In fact, there was I think it was a Shoemaker-Levy incident some years ago.
Oh, what? Sorry?
1994. Yes.
Yeah, there was a huge meteor impact that if Jupiter hadn't caught it, it would have hit us, and it caused a massive impact visible from Earth on Jupiter.
Wow.
Well,
We would have been fucked.
my point here is on the URM conquering Jupiter and or Venus would be both of those, particularly Venus. They would not have moons to build any kind of base on. They would be in orbital kind of space stations, probably very large. Well, they are, I guess, in space stations in the manga. And then on Jupiter, they have, I think, a combination of both. I think they've got some space stations, and they have some facilities that are on maybe a moon, like.
I seem to remember some sort of like some kind of like a ring or some sort that they built around Jupiter, I think.
Yes.
I remember there was some science fiction stories I read about colonists over the course of decades or centuries with using these massively powerful technologies. They would break down the moons of Jupiter and turn them into orbiting habitations.
Yeah.
Mm.
Kind of like almost like a Dyson sphere or partial Dyson sphere around Jupiter.
Well, here's the thing. If the URM, in this scenario, they conquer Earth, and let's assume that they do have some kind of, kind of jingoistic, leadership that's heading up the URM, and they go after Venus and Jupiter. Okay, that would not be the last order, but Alita would probably play a role in that. It'd be a very different role because she's an URM soldier. She's not Alita Battle Angel like we know her. She's a different person.
She's definitely no angel.
Yeah.
Yoko, Hell's Angel.
Yeah, she's a Hell's Angel. She does ride motorcycles. So yeah, that's so that would still be the same, I guess. But yeah, that's
emphasizing more of the hell part.
But anyway. Hell, yeah, that's right. So So yeah, I'm sorry to say, Bloody, that Alita is not the sweet little thing that we think of her in the movie. In
Well,
this
Alita doesn't even
scenario.
exist as a person with that
Yeah.
particular timeline.
Now, what about Erica?
That's the thing. There's no indication that they even have Erica in the movie verse. I think it
No.
still remains to be seen if she will make an
They've
appearance.
got to have Erica.
But in this scenario, Erica may be an armed soldier as well.
Well, if it worked out like it did in the manga, then Alita ended up killing her.
Yeah, that's right. But would she kill her if they were in this scenario and they were fighting against Earth? I don't know, you know?
Yeah, it really depends a lot
Yeah, I know. That's a
on a
whole
lot
different,
of things.
yeah, that's a whole different story, I guess.
Is Erica the one like ST and people want to be played by Cara Delevingne?
I think so, yeah.
No, I've got to put a stop to that. she's got to be like really cute, and I don't find Cara that cute. Sorry, lads.
I don't
That's
even know
all
who
right.
that is.
Tony says that Rosa isn't that cute, and I want to.
What? Why are you even saying that?
What's
Hey,
Tony saying?
blame Tony.
So wait,
What's
why did you just say that?
what is Tony saying? I'm looking over. Are you looking at the Twitter DMs or the X DMs?
No. I just know that Tony doesn't find her all that attractive.
Okay,
It's like, what?
thanks for that.
Well, they could have Margot Robbie play Erica.
I don't know. She's a bit too big, a bit too confident. Do you know what I mean?
Erica's pretty damn confident in the manga. She is.
All right.
Yeah, she's confident to a fault. She is.
I just can't see her carrying the big eyes.
I don't know. I think she's a good actress. I think she could probably do it. You know,
Oh, she's great for like
Barbie.
other stuff. Exactly.
Well, she
Perfect
did
for
a-
Barbie.
Well,
Wolf
she
of
did a
Wall
great
Street.
job on Harley Quinn.
Did she? I didn't really see
Yeah.
those. Sorry.
Oh gosh, yeah, she was
Nah,
good.
Margot Robbie for Erica? Nah. Thumbs down. Double thumbs down.
Why?
Well, let's ask Angelus about another person that might. How about Abby Cornish? She's an Aussie actress.
John, no.
Huh?
Sorry, I was talking to John in chat.
Cara, who is
I
Cara?
reckon either Yvonne Strahovski or Emily Blunt. Either of those two.
Oh, I have no idea who should be hers. None of them fit the bill for me. It's just because I want them to be like on Rose's level of. Well, no, just none of them are.
John, are you talking about the woman that played Cara Dune? God,
No, Cara Delevingne, Creaky. She's
Oh,
talking about
Cara
Cara
Delevingne.
Delevingne.
Oh, I thought you were talking about what's her name, the UFC fighter, a UFC fighter.
Don't
no.
worry, Creaky.
Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah, the male berserkers with big eyes. That's interesting. How's that going to go?
Well, if you remember that training video, well, wasn't a training video, but that portion, you remember there were 2 other gravity chambers in the back. Both of those, there were 4 berserkers in there, 2 in each chamber. They looked like Alita to me.
Yeah, they did. Hopefully,
Yeah.
all of them just look like a leader, and we just never see any male berserkers.
Yes, I agree with that. Except Zex.
Except Zex, but he's a clone.
And Kuhn.
He's a gender swapped clone of Alita.
Yeah.
So that's basically still Alita.
Yeah, but he's got to be a male though, or else it's going to be a problem.
There are male consuls though.
Yes, there are. Yoon is an
Yeah.
example. Yeah. Yeah, I like him. He's a great character. Okay, so I guess, God, we beat this up pretty good, I think. Got that, plus got into a political discussion. And you guys know me politically.
All right. Yeah. Well, thank you for reminding us to not go off that tangent again. Thank you.
Yes. Well,
It's like, guys, there's an election coming up. We've got to just completely not even mention any politics whatsoever.
yeah, that's right.
Well,
I agree
if
with that.
it's within the world of Battle Angel Alita, Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Iron
Fictional politics,
City,
okay. Pretend reality politics, not okay.
Iron City or Zalem or URM politics are certainly appropriate. So, what's this? Definitely going to end up being future AR units. Yes. Yes. I agree, Odd John. I think Odd John's having a hoot out there is what he's doing.
Yeah, loving Odd John in the chat. You should have jumped
Yeah.
in the stream.
Yeah, Odd John. I put the link out there.
Yeah,
Odd John,
Odd
chuck in
John.
some hearts. Do you have the hearts feature? I'm throwing in loads of hearts. Can you see them flashing up?
Odd John has a heart.
Yeah, he does.
Everyone spam the hearts. Chat, spam those heart buttons.
That's a good idea.
Heart
Muting
and chat
Twitter.
for OJ.
I'm the only one doing it.
Yeah, I get in trouble on Twitter.
Because I'm not.
So sad.
I get in trouble on Twitter a lot. So
I keep having the reason I mention the hearts is I have to keep having to scroll up to actually read what Odd John's saying because it gets in the way. The big heart circle. Hey, someone else is doing the hearts. Well done.
yes, I like this. Blood-sucking parasites. I love that, Lee. Yes. Okay. Well, anyway, I
exactly.
guess we've kind of hit this one pretty hard, I think. Is there anything else anybody has here, I guess?
Get your ass off the toilet, John, for God's sake.
So did we miss anything?
No.
I miss Alita's Uru discussion.
Yeah, I miss Rosa
Yes.
Salazar.
Need to
I
have
miss
more of
so
those.
much, actually.
Well, there's some ooh-woo for you right there, Angelus, on all three of
Yeah.
those images.
Which images?
All three of them.
Oh, my one's paused. Oh, I was looking at the YouTube. which I had
Oh, I'm
paused,
sorry. Yeah, it's all YouTube's about 10 seconds behind. So
Yeah, I have it paused anyway because it was making noise.
Yep. So yeah, and you see from the middle there,
I'll make it tomorrow.
Alita or Yoko, whichever one, does love her Uncle Creek. So you better watch out.
I'm not sure that Yoko would
Yoko would
her
love
Uncle
Uncle Creek. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah. Yeah, Uncle Creek may be in trouble with Yoko. That's for sure. Oh gosh. But Alita loves her Uncle Creek, that's for sure.
Yes.
So
Alita loves everybody.
yeah, she does.
Yes.
Except people who like kill dogs and stuff.
Yes, for sure. So anyway, there's our queen right there, Rosa. As I say every week, she's number one in the Creeks book in terms of being an actor, actress, whatever. Maxie, if you were on here, you could correct me.
Creaky, sorry, I don't like this picture.
Why?
Haven't we talked about this before?
No. Why do you not like this picture?
Because you've used Face App. They've used Face App on her.
Oh, did they?
Yes, that's like fake makeup and stuff.
Well, I'll have to keep that in mind next time.
You got to watch out for that, Creaky. I don't know. It just doesn't. It's better just to be natural with her, I think.
I agree.
Unless you're doing like a superhero costume or something.
Well, no, she's not a superhero.
She doesn't need makeup. She applied the perfect amount of makeup on that day. That'll like plaster more on her with Photoshop. It just sickens me.
John says, Bloody, cool it.
Okay, yeah, I need to calm down. I've got to go to bed in a minute, and now I'm all worked up.
That's what's wrong. Okay. Yeah. Getting sleepy, are we? Okay. Well, as I say every week, she's a great actress. And another thing, picture notwithstanding, Bloody, it don't hurt that she's
It's still a
pretty.
beautiful picture, obviously.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it doesn't hurt that she's pretty. And I want to just give shout outs to Elle Lamont and Jesse Fisher. They brought Screwhead to life. And for all three of these ladies, it don't hurt that they're pretty. So, but they did a great job on Alita and Screwhead, respectively, for sure. And we want all of them back. We'll certainly get Rosa back in the sequel, but we want Screwhead in the sequel too. Screwhead's not dead. Screwhead, can be reassembled and put back in the sequel. And
Well, it was her. To put another way, her motorball body was what was damaged badly in the movie. So she still has her street body back at the arena.
Yeah, she does. So they could the
So yeah, in
appropriate.
effect, she's just fine.
Yeah, I think so. And her head wasn't damaged, and nor was her core. It looks like she was cut down low below, that little spiny part. So
Yeah, it doesn't look like her core was hit at all.
no, yeah, she's.
John,
Yeah, I
John,
think she's.
I need to look up that video. I completely forgot about it. Thanks for reminding me.
Yeah. Well, anyway, all three of
The
these
body
ladies,
paint one.
all three of them,
Uh-huh.
they need to be back in the sequel. All of them. So.
Yep.
Angelus, who's going to be the host tomorrow? I think you're muted, Angelus.
Well, fine. We didn't want to talk to you anyway.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, episode number
It's a
178.
mystery.
Well, Creek's not going to be on this one per se, and I am going to, if I can, I'm going to live stream it. But there'll be video somewhere. Maybe I may have to like record it on my phone and transmit it or whatever. But did Alita inspire Cammy? Is basically what that is.
Creek, sorry, what time does your thing start? The con?
The Comic-Con starts at 10 o'clock my time, and the stream
What's
is
your time?
10 o'clock my time.
Were you about to say my time as well?
Your
that
time.
UTC?
I'm not sure. No, that's not UTC. That's Mountain Time. So let me see. Let me pull up something here that will help me figure it out.
I'm in British summertime.
Yeah, let's see. 10 o'clock would be 6
In the
hours.
summertime.
6 hours. It'd be 5 o'clock your time, Flotty.
5 p.m.
That's when the Comic-Con starts. Yeah.
All right, sweet. I'll keep an eye. I'll keep an eye on Twitter when I'm at work.
And Angelus, it will be, the Comic-Con will start 3 o'clock your time in the morning.
Oh.
So, but
What?
I forget at 7 o'clock, I think, is when the Radio Chaos stream starts. So you're good, Angelus. You'll still get to see the video.
1 a.m.'s not even late, John.
Any thoughts about this, Angelus? Are you going to be the host? Because I haven't read this.
Oh, no, Max is going to be the host of that one, but I'm still going to be there.
Okay,
I'm
cool.
always there for it.
Yeah. You bet.
Thank you, Angelus.
Yes,
Legend.
Yeah, it's almost 1 a.m. for Vlods. Yeah, that's right, Vlods. You're going the beyond and above and beyond for our girl, I guess, on this one. So,
Well, it's a Friday night.
yeah. Okay, I guess
I am working tomorrow, but I work in the afternoons anyway. So it doesn't mean anything that it's a Friday night for me.
Yeah.
It's the principle of it being a Friday night.
Yes, indeed. Why is this image here? That image is there because the Creek likes it, and the Creek likes a lot of images of his niece for sure.
And he's running the stream.
That's right, and I'm running the stream. And to paraphrase Grishka, I'm only here for our girl. And of course, all of us are only here for our girl and the Alita Army. So, any last thoughts, guys?
No.
John, fine, you win. Yes.
Yeah, I wasn't 100% sure what that was referencing.
Well, I'm running the stream, so I win. I think that's what he was saying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, I guess on my count of 3, we will do the call to action. And that would be 1, 2, 3.
Film
those sequels,
baby. All right, we'll see you next week on the Alita live stream, and we'll see you tomorrow on Radio Chaos. Ta-ta.
See you guys.
Take care, everybody.
What's up, Alita Army? This is Hot Toys Alita, and I hope you enjoyed this week's Alita live stream. Please join my Uncle Creek, Angelus, and our other guests for next week's show. Remember, I do not stand by in the presence of evil, and film those sequels, baby. See you next time.